Today we have got a treat for you because BetaFPV have sent me a Pavo20 Pro limited edition Nightfire FPV drone. Now really quickly, to get the elephant in the room out of the way, BetaFPV did send me this free of charge. They've not paid me for this review. They won't see this review before it goes out. All the thoughts, feelings and opinions within it are my own. Now onwards, my friends, as a famous YouTuber from the UK would say. So in the Pavo20 Nightfire, we have a really special edition drone. There's only 1,000 of them being made. So I would recommend that you grab hold of one as quick as you can. And if you don't want to wait until the end of the video because you're worried that they're all going to be sold out, there's a link in the description and the pinned comment down below. I would recommend grabbing one of these, and probably fairly quickly, to be honest, because there is only 1,000 of them being made. That link is an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you a penny extra to use it, but it tells BetaFPV that I am somebody worth sending product out to make review videos like this. So thank you for using it. Now there is going to be another video made closer to Black Friday whereby I am going to drop a discount code for BetaFPV. However, I can't guarantee that all these are going to be available by then. So if you want to wait for that, that's fine. But personally, I would probably grab this before then. So what is the Pavo20 Nightfire? Or sorry, the Pavo20 Pro Nightfire? I hear you all ask. Well, Uncle Quads is here to greet you with glee and RGB. I promise I didn't script that. It didn't take me hours to come up with much. Basically, we have here a Pavo20 Pro with a smoked grey body and prop guards and an addressable RGB strip. The RGB strip can be changed with the buttons on the little control board that goes on the side of it, or they can be changed within Betaflight. I didn't do that purely because I was actually expecting to get this video out towards the end of November. Then obviously BetaFPV have done such a good job with their marketing. They're like, nope, we need to drop it now because everybody's getting excited for it. So let's drop it now. So I haven't actually got a video showing you how to do it in Betaflight yet, but I will drop that later on in a few days. I'll drop a link in the top right hand corner for the original Pavo20 Pro review that I did a couple of months ago. Suffice to say, this is the same drone, but just a bit more special. So you've still got the 1104 7200 kV motors. It'll still fit an 03 or a Cadex Vista, Runcam Link, etc. Still got the same F4 2 or 3S all-in-one 20 amp flight controller. It'll still fly for over 6 minutes. You've still got those really impressive 2.2 inch blades that give that extra thrust and flight time against the Pavo20. So the main two changes are, we've got prop guards which are smoked semi-transparent grey, a smoked semi-transparent 03 and camera cage thing that goes on the top, whereas the original Pavo20 Pro and Pavo20 were black, solid black, which look nice, don't get me wrong. However, they didn't have an addressable RGB strip, which is what this does have. That's the real star of the show. Obviously the changes to the frame help get the light out there a little bit better and make it a little bit more illuminating, for want of a better word. But that RGB strip really does look good, and I've got some footage of the spotter taking a video, some footage from my camera, some pictures, all to show you throughout this review. But you are essentially getting, and here's the kicker, and this is why I want you to be quick, you're essentially getting exactly the same incredible Pavo20 Pro as in the original video, but you're getting a nicer looking frame and you're getting an addressable RGB strip, and the price difference is exactly the same. So if we look on BetaFPV's website now, we can see that the normal version of the Pavo20 Pro is going for $104, and the Nightfire is also going for $124. It's a real no-brainer. The only downside, I suppose, if you want to add a downside to it, if we have to add a downside to it, is the fact that there's only 1,000 of them available. So this is a real special limited edition, and this is something that BetaFPV and I spoke about a while ago. So really do jump on this and grab this, because the more that you guys are responsive to this, the more special and limited editions that they're actually going to make. and it wouldn't surprise me if this sells out well before Black Friday. So before we go to any more flight footage, we'll have a quick look at how we actually put the camera cage on, and it's dead straightforward. There are 4 holes in a T-shaped pattern. You basically put your O3 into the top of the camera cage. You screw the screws into the camera, obviously, to get it into the position that you want to get it into. Replace the antenna if you're running a long O3 antenna to the 2 short ones that's included in the box. Put the 4 screws in, and you're done. That's it. It really is as simple as that. There is a cable obviously to plug into your O3 as well, but once you've done that, it really is as simple as that. Now it's all set up in Betaflight for you to go ahead and do what you need to do with regards to rates or anything. But apart from that, the filtering and everything else is all set up for you, and the RGBs is all set up as well. Now BetaFPV were also kind enough to send me these 2 553S lava lipos, which are actually really good. And we're going to cut to some flight footage now, and it's just important to say that the flight footage that you're about to see was all done with these 2 550 mAh 3S lava, sorry, 450 mAh lava lipos. So flight 1 takes us around the Spitfire Museum. We're flying in a city centre location. I've got a spotter who is stood next to me and can see the drone at all times. That's the other bonus of having an RGB strip like this. And that is that the spotter can actually easily see the drone because the RGBs are so bright and multicoloured, and they stand out against any sort of cityscape background so easily. It's also important to note as well that the Pavo20 Pro Nightfire weighs just a little bit over 100 grams. I think it was about 130 grams, I believe, from the last video I did. I'll have to double check, but I do know that it is well under the 249 grams that you're allowed to do this. Now, obviously, you have to keep the drone safe. You can't recklessly endanger anybody, so I can't fly it directly towards somebody or in front of a car windscreen, and the spotter needs to be able to see it. But as you can see, the flight is safe, legal, and we are sort of playing with the gardening guys here and having a little bit of fun. And that's ultimately what drones are all about, isn't it? It's all about having a little bit of fun. Now, security did actually come out on this, and we had a good chat because I was a little bit concerned about security and windows and things. And after we'd had a chat, it turns out that actually we may be filming in this location more in the future, which will be exciting. I'm sure you will all agree. And you'll see from the second flight, it's pretty much more of the same, without too much of a problem. So we leave that location after making friends with the security, the gardeners, the grass, and anybody else who was paying any attention to us whatsoever. This drone is so quiet, so light, and so unobtrusive that the only person or people or things that paid any attention to it was actually a dog. The gardeners were buzzing actually watching it, to be fair, but nobody was bothered by it. Nobody was stressed by it. There was no issues like you would sometimes have with regards to drones and things. And we are actually flying right next to a police station as well here. So then we took it to my local flying field. Now, it was a little bit foggy because it was around bonfire night. There was lots of smoke in the air from the previous night's festivities. I fly it nice and slow, smooth and cinematic over the trees to show that not only can it be a little bit crazy in places like city centres and built-up areas, but it's more than capable of chilling and flying along areas like this. So then finally we go to the last flight of the Pavo20 Pro Nightfire, and we take it around the local tree. We take it quite hard, we do lots of tricks, and it copes really well. It's exactly what you would expect from a Pavo20 Pro, but with RGBs and a cooler body, to be fair. I do crash it in the end, but that's purely my own fault because obviously I'm pushing it a little bit too hard for what it is. That's purely my fault for just not quite getting it right over the top of the tree. not the drones. Squad, so we've just had a little bit of a crash on the tests. My fault for flying it a little bit too hard, but what I did want to do is I wanted to show you just how easy the Pavo20 Nightfire is to find if you actually do crash it. Now first of all, I've turned my transmitter off, which means that it's beeping, but secondly you can see just how bright those LEDs are in the middle of the day. Good job. Ultimately those 1104 motors and the extra 0.2 of an inch on the props provide it with so much more thrust that you can actually fly it like a freestyle quad. It doesn't just have to be flown boringly like an indoor Cinewhoop, tiny whoop type thing. It really can perform differently to that. So we move back into the studio and we bring up the question that we always bring up at the end of these reviews, and that is, should you buy it? And before you do, I want to take a brief pause and thank our members. And those members are Barry Morgan FPV, Mark Duplex, Dizzy Dean FPV, Only Drones, Han Solo, and Not Here. Thank you very much for your kind support. It really is appreciated here at Quads Towers. If you want to join them on the membership bench, options start from as little as $1.99 a month, and that will get you a shout out in each one of these videos and some behind the scenes pictures on the community feed, and potentially early access to videos or information on things that I am actually working on. There are higher tiers if you'd like to support more, but it does start from as little as $1.99. And if I haven't earned that just yet, that's absolutely fine. But if you could, just please like, comment, share and subscribe on this video, and maybe next time I'll get you. Now, let's carry on with this video. So, should you buy a Pavo20 Pro Nightfire? The answer, quite simply, as I alluded to at the start of this video, is yes. I find that the Pavo20 Pro is one of my favourite Cinewhoops of this year. It is by far my favourite 2.2 inch Cinewhoop of the year. It is actually the only 2.2 inch Cinewhoop I've flown, but that's regardless. You have efficiency, you have long flight times, you have very capable flights of either very slow, very cinematic, very precise, or you can actually do some freestyle with it. You've got RGBs, you've got a semi-transparent, semi-clear body, you've got the ability to record on board with an 03. Everything comes attached, so all you literally need to do is just plug a single plug into your 03 and everything's done and set up for you. It includes the LRS or TBS Crossfire. The only downside I can see, and I always do try and find the downside in these reviews, because these reviews are not all about shilling a product for a company. That's not what we do here. We try and find where the negative issues are. And the only thing that I would say with this is the same issues I raised with the Pavo20 Pro when I reviewed that. And that is, if you run a zero camera angle, you will get props in view unless you use the 3D printed modification that I'm running on mine. And it doesn't have a GPS, which again, a lot of people think, oh, you don't need a GPS for something like this. But again, I'll refer back to the point I referred back to before. This costs $104. An 03 is going to cost you $200. So you're putting $300 in the air. Realistically, I want GPS on it, especially if I'm flying around city centre locations like this, to make sure that the thing comes home to me at the end of the flight. It's not about pushing distances or going over oceans, although I'd like to, don't get me wrong, I'd like to go over an ocean with it because it's more than capable of doing so. But it doesn't have that GPS. Now, what I am going to do over the winter is I am going to build the ultimate Pavo20 Pro, and I'm going to add GPS and I'm going to add a zero camera angle. And I'm going to try and convince BetaFPV to buy the design from it. And when I say buy the design from me, I just mean make it. I don't actually intend on selling it them. But if I can get something like that agreed to by a manufacturer that you guys can then go ahead and buy, and you've got nothing to do on it at all, that's a win to me. It really, really is. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. I love talking to and debating with you guys. Some people have said that they find it amazing that I'm one of the few creators in the FPV world that will reply to every comment, and I always will, because I love talking to you guys. It's part of the reason why I do this, to be honest. So let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or not. And also let me know if you've picked one up, or if you intend to pick one up, or if you don't intend to pick one up, the reason why. You've all been amazing. I've been Quads. Until next time, which will be very soon. Peace.